Hello and welcome back to 27 Fox Place. If you've been following me for a while, then you know that every day starts out pretty much the same way. I start a load of laundry, and while I'm waiting for the clothes to dry, I make up the bed, tidy the house, and if the dishes are clean, I put them away. And it can take me anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes depending on what needs to be done that day. And then I'll spend another 15 minutes on a weekly cleaning task, and then I fold up the laundry. And I like to get the cleaning out of the way first thing because the longer I wait, the less likely I am to get it done. And we've had very mild temperatures so far this year, but now that July is here, the temperatures have literally climbed 20 degrees overnight. And we have a few things to do outside, and I wanted to get them done before it gets too hot, so I just took a few minutes to finish up my morning routine and transfer the clothes over to the dryer.
I don't think that I'm being that selfish right now. You said yourself you'd be breaking every vow. I can understand you're tired of this town, and I'm not saying that we have to settle down now. Just remember.
And I mentioned in the last video that we were expecting house guests, so I took some time off to spend with them while they were here. And when we have house guests staying with us, I don't spend a lot of time cooking or cleaning. I keep up with the dailies and I might run the vacuum, but I usually put most of the cleaning on hold so that I can spend time with our guests, and it's always nice to take a break. But unfortunately, dirt doesn't take a break, so to get back on track, I just follow my normal weekly routines.
Out there looking for someone like you. Stardust, Stardust. Yeah. I'm the lazy one, so I guess I should have known. You said yourself you wanna do this alone. What if your dreams are making it hard to think straight? If you still love me, I can wait, I can wait. And remember this, we could have been stardust, same world but without us. Something made us find each other out there. Made us realize we're more than just stardust. Ignore this fact if you must, to do what your dreams are telling you to do. And I'll be out there looking for someone like you.
I always like to set up a load of laundry to run the next morning, so I like to add the detergent and program the washer and set the timer so that the clothes are clean when I get up in the morning. And I like to use vinegar in the rinse instead of fabric softener, and the vinegar helps to rinse away the minerals and soap that can leave clothes stiff and dingy, and it doesn't leave a residue build up in the washer and dryer.
Made us realize we're more than just stardust. Ignore this fact if you must, to do what your dreams are telling you to do. And I'll be out there looking for someone like you.
And once we were all finished working outside, there were a few things in the kitchen that I still needed to do to get back on track, but I had a few things that I needed to get put away before I got started. And for the past few years, I've been collecting silicone bags to reduce the amount of disposable bags that we use in the kitchen. And I like to use them for short-term storage in the fridge, and they're perfect for storing produce. And anytime I find them for a good price, I add a few more to the collection. And I recently found a pretty good deal for these half half-gallon bags on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link in the description box. And stasher bags are a great quality, but they are more expensive, and each one of these bags costs about the same as 100 plastic freezer bags, so it's more economical and it's eco-friendly, and it's also a healthier option. And if you're searching for silicone bags online, make sure the material is either pure silicone or 100% silicone. There are many reusable bags that claim to be silicone in the description, but they're actually made of PEVA or some other plastic material. And I needed to empty the sink before I could wash up the stasher bags. I left the racks from the toaster oven soaking in the sink overnight to help loosen up all the baked on grease, and I just filled up the sink with enough hot water to cover the wire racks and the trays, and then I added 2 dishwasher pods, and the next day most of the stuck-on bits came right off with just a little light scrubbing.
So all we had was us. If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I know I should be. 'Cause honestly, I don't have no time to waste. I'm trying to come back to you because now I see we were meant to be. I'll come see ya. 'Cause I'm afraid that I'll end up here alone. Hope you'll understand how much I need ya. Take me back to when we were kids and didn't care if we were acting stupid. 'Cause all we had was us. If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I know I should be. Honestly, I don't have no time to waste. I'm trying to come back to you because now I see we were meant to be.
The rack and the drip tray came almost completely clean, but this enamel pan had a few stubborn spots, so I decided to use a little barkeeper's friend to clean up the spots with the heavier buildup.
If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I know I should be.
I use dish soap to clean the sink on a daily basis, and anytime the sponge is full of soap, I give the sink a quick scrub down, but every once in a while I like to use a little barkeeper's friend to get a little extra shiny, and since I had the barkeeper's friend out, it was the perfect time to give it a good scrub.
Close your eyes, get some rest. I'm by your side. Lay your head on my chest. I know you've had a really bad day. But I'm right here, it's gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all of the skies stay clear.
for now, so don't despair. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. Before the blue skies fade to gray.
It's been a minute since I've cleaned all the cabinets, and I try to wipe them down once a week, and sometimes I wipe them down all at the same time, and other times I just wipe down a few cabinets every day, and it takes about 10 minutes to clean up all the cabinets, and I just use a damp microfiber cloth, and I look for spots on the cabinets as I wipe them down, but the microfiber tends to drag over the areas where there's grease and splatters, so I can usually feel when the cabinets are clean when the microfiber starts to glide smoothly over the cabinets, and I usually start with the upper cabinets and I come back around and clean the lower cabinets. And the areas around the knobs and the sink catch the most drips and spills, and the cabinets directly above the microwave gets covered in grease from the stove. So even if I can't clean up all of the cabinets, I can usually find some time during the week to clean up those sections when I clean up after dinner.
Watch the clock ticking off the wall, but tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this.
Microfiber cloths are very absorbent, but they do leave some water behind, and the reflective surfaces like glass and stainless steel tend to show the water spots, so I like to use a dry microfiber cloth to buff them dry after I finish wiping them down.
When I'm in this town, look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Lay my troubles to rest. Blow the smoke through my cigarette. City lights looking fine, and I know this is my time now. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me.
The glass shelf in this window shows every bit of dirt and every splash of water, and because steam and grease mix with the dust, it makes it harder to clean, and it also makes the glass look dull, so I need to clean it every week, and I just use a damp microfiber cloth to clean up the grime from the glass, and then I buff it dry with a dry one.
Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind. stars getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore. 7 years now on this boat, and we all know where we belong. Just wait.
I try to remember to descale the coffee maker every month or so, but before I do that, I need to clean up the machine. Coffee grounds splatter all over the inside and they get into the water tank, and the grounds can clog up the machine. So I like to rinse out the water tank and wipe up any grounds that get stuck in the lid. And then I use a 50-50 mix of vinegar and water to descale the coffee maker.
Across the room. When I was mad, I never knew that I could feel this way, and it's kinda strange. Don't even know your name. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. I don't.
And now that the sink is empty, I can soak the stasher bags in a little hot soapy water, and I can wash out my coffee mug so that I can use it to clean out the inside of the microwave. And I'll fill the mug with half vinegar and half water, and I'll heat it in the microwave for about 5 minutes or so. And while I'm waiting for the microwave, I can finish up in the kitchen.
I think I've waited all these years for you right here. But how will I ever know if you go? 'Cause I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you.
And I also need to clean the backsplash today, and I'll go ahead and wipe down the countertops at the same time. And we have granite countertops, and I like to use Method's granite cleaner on them, but because I'm cleaning the backsplash, I'm just going to use a damp microfiber cloth so that I can save a little bit of time today. And the backsplash is glass, so I need to buff them dry with a dry microfiber cloth.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know. I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honest, honestly don't. I should be the last to know. We're all in this. I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honest, honestly don't. I should be the last to know. Hello, Ramona. I mistook you for a dream. The engine glows, and I guess you always seem to know. Hello, Ramona. I push back the serious feeling. The end's unknown. To get back the life I used to know. I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know. We're all in this. I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know.
We cover up the food that we put in the microwave to avoid splatters, but it still needs to be cleaned every week or two, and I just try to squeeze it in whenever I think about it. And the water needs to boil long enough to cover the inside with condensation, and the steam from the boiling water will loosen up any grime so that it just wipes away.
It's the same old story being told inside my head. I'm too shy to straighten up my bones and be a man. I gotta tear this wall apart to let you in. Time's running out, so take a chance. Make a move, 'cause the store won't stay open till the end. Won't you tear my world apart?
I need to use a stepladder to clean these shelves and the glass shelf that's in the window, so I always try to clean them both at the same time while I have the ladder out. And I'm not sure why, but every time I clean the glass shelf, I forget all about these shelves until I put the ladder away.
Let it go too soon. Oh, I'd be stronger if you just step right in. 'Cause I need a start to let you in. Days pass and I'm still the same inside my head. And I can't stop thinking about what you said. I gotta tear my wall apart. And it's the only way to start to let you in. When it's over, stronger if you just step right in. 'Cause I need a start there.
And once I got everything back into place, the only thing left to do in the kitchen was wash up the dishes in the sink. And since the coffee maker had finished its brewing cycle, I wanted to wash up the coffee pot before I ran another brew cycle to rinse out the vinegar.
I was on a plane to California. I had all the time I'd ever need. Did you even know I was looking for you? I think that I was hiding in between. How long, how long, how long did you wait for me? How long, how long, how long did you really need to figure it out? I got in a cab when I first got here. Took me to the only place I know. Listen to the people that I found there. If you ever see her, let me know. How long, how long, how long did you wait for me? How long, how long, how long did you really need?
And it may look like I'm always full of energy, but my batteries always start to run low in the afternoon. And after a busy morning working in the yard, I was running out of energy, my hair was falling down, and I just wanted to be done for the day. And as I was grabbing the towels to throw them in the wash, I remembered that I still had another load of laundry that needed to be folded. But when I started pulling the clothes out of the dryer, I realized that they hadn't completely dried, so I had to put them back into the dryer and wait a few more minutes. So I decided to mop the floors in the kitchen while I waited for the clothes to dry, because once I sit down, I never have enough energy to get back up again.
Occasionally, I need a breathe. Stop me for a second, I got needs. Occasionally, I set them free. Don't hold me back now, I'm in the lead. This particle life. This particle life. What a time to be alive. Lately, I've been dancing on my own so bravely.
I left the ironing board out with every intention of coming back to fold the laundry, but in the end I made an executive decision and decided that the laundry could wait another day. So I just put the wet vac back on the charger, and this machine has a self-cleaning feature, and when it's finished I empty out the tank and switch out the roller for a dry one so that it's ready to go when I need it. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button before you go. And thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I hope to see you next time.